Hey there, and welcome to the Gap Year podcast. My name is Michelle Dittmer, and I am your host and Gap Year expert. Today, one of my favorite topics, all about Canadian official languages and the official languages programs that exist there. I'm actually an alumni of the Explore program from many, many moons ago, but it is a phenomenal way to explore languages, which are always an asset no matter what stage in life you are. So I'll share a little bit of my story, and our wonderful guest today, Barbara, is here to share a little bit about her story. So welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me. Good to
Yeah,
hear.
we're super stoked. So why don't you give us a little bit of who you are? Who are you? What are you up to these days? What does it look like in a day in the life of Barbara?
All right. So right now I'm actually working for the official languages program. I've participated in their Odyssey program twice and the Explore program once. I originally, I don't even remember how I found out the program, but that was way back in 2015. And it allowed me to get to BC. So I'm living in BC. And I've gotten to have like a few road trips here and there, be it in Canada. I've done New Zealand and stuff like that. And these days now I'm working from home and training my new puppy.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Little furry furball blitz, whatever. He's just all over, very cute.
Yeah. Oh, that's so fun. I'm so interested in terms of what led you to participate in the Odyssey program. What did life look pre-Odyssey, and what kind of tipped the scales to thinking maybe you wanted to take a little bit of a different path?
So funnily enough, when I was doing my undergrad at Guelph, I originally wanted to be like a couples and family therapist. And so I had taken like 2 practicum placements. I did my first one in my 3rd year, my second one, my 4th, but things weren't going the way I thought they would be. It was getting difficult to get references so I could apply to a master's program. In general, I was just really kind of sick of studying as well, just the whole being a student life. It was my 4th year, so I was really tired and ready to graduate. I don't remember how I came across the program, but I know that I had always wanted to go to Quebec, and I loved my grade 8 Quebec trip. And my grad year seemed like a great time to kind of like, okay, well, if I'm just going to give up on being a therapist, maybe I could try going to Quebec and learning French and doing all the stuff I kind of like dreamed of when I was in high school. And so at that time, I actually started looking into like ESL programs at like Conestoga, Centennial, or whatever. And Odyssey ended up being the program of choice. They were really accommodating, and I guess that was kind of a draw, because for me, it would have been like my first time really leaving on my own. And so for some people, Quebec's kind of like another country, and I thought it was like a great stepping stone. I moved from like the GTA to Guelph, but I still, I was still pretty accustomed to like the GO bus, and it was just, there and back, pretty easy. So I thought, okay, if I'm just going to go to Quebec, it felt a bit different and like a challenge. The language itself just makes everything feel so different. So when I was there, I was in a rural area for the 9 months I was there, and it really kind of confirmed, like, okay, I guess I'm not going to be a therapist anymore. I'm going to go down this path. And so that's kind of where I was at that time, after wanting to be couples and family, and then something that I guess feels kind of different, but kind of still worked with my degree in adult development. So okay, I can accept that. It works.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you recognized while you're in school that you kind of had enough of being a student. that was kind of like you'd hit your max, because there are many, 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 many years that you can spend in school, and pushing pause on that, or deciding that you need something a little bit different in your life. I think that takes a good bit of self-awareness. So I'm going to give you a little bit of congratulations on that, because there's often a lot of kind of momentum around being a student, and like, well, I'm just going to keep going, or I'm just going to keep doing it because I'm almost there, or if I stop, I'm never going to start again. And so we feel often compelled to keep going, even though there's a little voice inside of us, or maybe a really big voice that says, oh, like, nope, time out. Like, I need something different. So I think that's
exactly right.
really
Like everyone's like, oh, I got this before I have kids. If I have kids, I'm not gonna be able to be a student. That's exactly my thoughts when I was like, how old? I guess I would have been 21, 20 when I graduated around then. It's like, no, I should keep going. I do it. Like, I'll be in student mode. And so I totally agree. But I find it ironic that, in order to leave that whole, I'm tired of being a student, I had to go on the other side of the desk, I like to say. It's like actually be a teacher assistant, kind of like educating people. That's how I got to be out of being a student.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to school, it's a very comfortable place for us, because we get on in like pre-K or kindergarten or grade 1 even, and we do it for the majority of our formative years. So from like 4 years old through to 17, you're in school in your hometown, and then you add on 4 more if you're heading to university, or 2 more if you've got a college program, or whatever that number of years is. So like literally 20 years of your life, and like 90% of your lifetime at that point, you've been a student. So school and studying, like that's a very comfortable space. And we like to be comfortable because that feels really good to us. It feels safe. And then when we go to take that step outside of our comfort zone, often we don't want to like step too far. So that role of teacher or TA or language assistant or whatever it is also kind of can feel like you're taking a risk and you're challenging yourself, but it's still within that realm of comfort, which I think is a really great place to start to grow as a human being, and to start to like spread your wings a little bit without completely just like throwing yourself off the side of the mountain. You're kind of like throwing yourself off the anthill, and you're like, okay, I can do this, and like bring on the mountains. So I like that analogy of like flipping around to the other side of the desk and becoming a teacher, which is really, really cool. But let's actually explore that a little bit more. So for people who don't know what the Odyssey program is, maybe you can kind of elaborate on what that looks like, so that they can kind of put themselves in your shoes and figure out what it looked like and felt like to be part of that program.
Yeah, so at that time, I guess I was trying to pick up where I left off. Then, like, basically, I was looking at a 9-month contract, living in Quebec. I preferred a small town. I think I remember during my interview asking for something like, well, I want to be in a town where there's people like close to my age, so a university town. Yeah, you go into a school, so it could be like primary, secondary, or if you're in CEGEP, since they have in Quebec they have CEGEP. I was wanting like CEGEP or secondary, but I got secondary, which is still fine. Their school system's a bit different, so that was kind of like something cool to learn about. Yeah, it was just a pretty easy job. I just played games with them and talked to them. I didn't have to do like grade any tests. I didn't have to do any of the boring teacher stuff. And when I walk through the halls, there's always like some kids saying, "Oh, hello, Madame Barbara," like, and then they'd start talking. It could be either in French. They were trying to test if I understood what they were saying. And at that time, I don't think I was like totally fluent enough to even try. And then, otherwise they'd want to practice their English with me. And yeah, I had a lot who just want to follow me around, talk in the hallways, and it was lots of fun. And I found it was a pretty good first job out of university. At that time in 2015, it was 18 an hour. So I don't remember what minimum wage would have been around then. I think it would have been, what, 40? I have no idea. Yeah, probably in 2015. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, it's better than minimum wage. My first job out of my undergrad, and it seemed like the right thing to do. I drove all the way out there, and since it's just like, school hours, just had enough time during the evenings to just go around town, exploring the different cities. And during the weekends, I met other language assistants who, would have been going through the same stuff as me. Were like, oh my gosh, these francophones, they have such a different culture than us, and they like just these little things that were like, oh, we don't know, like, is this what they mean? Is that what they mean? Or the cool stuff, the obvious stuff that to us, that's why we're there, like, going to learn the language and learn like the slang of the region, not the just. I think like Quebecois French isn't that well represented in all the learning apps. So going there, learning stuff I definitely didn't hear in school, hearing the regional accents. Yeah, it was definitely, it gave me more confidence in my French, and just had to be more spontaneous, be more independent, living with other people, and also kind of like solidify the fact that I didn't want to really work with kids. I definitely knew that. I hadn't worked with teens at that point either. So I'm like, oh, I thought they were going to be a lot more scary, but they weren't as scary as I thought. And yeah, I think it was a really good stepping stone for me to get into the ESL world. And because of the whole Odyssey program, I completely changed what I was going to do, and I decided to like go teach abroad. So I thought, okay, if I could perfect my French, and well, maybe not perfect, but like improve my French while I was living in Quebec, then surely I can go and like learn my mother's tongue, because my mother's Thai. So I decided like, oh, I'm going to go live in Thailand and teach English, because it's really fun. You get to do something you do every day, which is just speaking English. But you get to share the little idiosyncrasies of your language with people who are only learning the stuff from the book. And we all know that like language learning is pretty boring in the book. So literally after my contract finished, like 3 weeks, I had 3 weeks to move from Quebec back to Ontario, drop off my stuff, pack what I just needed for a hot country, really. And then I left to Thailand to go teach and learn over there. So I find it funny that I did want to actually still be learning, but it was nice to do learning with people and learning, choosing the things I want and scheduling my own time along with my work time. Yeah, so that led me somewhere else. It was a good program to really start, like just to do something different with language. Even if you're not like interested in language, it's like a nice break to just have something paid as well. It's a solid salary.
Yeah, and I think that's important here. So let's just clarify. So this is a program that you can do that is a paid language assistant. So you don't have to be a teacher to do it.
Oh, absolutely. You don't even need to be a bachelor's of education or ECE, nothing like that. I met people who did law.
Yeah. So you don't have to be a teacher. You can do it out of school. How old do you have to be?
Technically, there's no real age limit. I think they do the minimum like first year of university or college, like first year of post-secondary. And for Quebec, it would be like CHF, I think.
Yeah.
I think that helps filter out the age thing. But as far as maximum goes, I don't see a maximum. This really has more to do with when your last degree was.
Perfect.
Course was. Yeah.
Okay. And so it's paid. So that's important for people to know very clearly that it's a paid job. And you can go across Canada. And you said that you had to go, you obviously went to a French speaking community, and you were assistant for English. Now, how good was your French, or how good does your French have to be?
That's the thing. So I've participated twice, right? So the first time I don't know who listening to this will know like levels or stuff, but I mean, I'd done core Ontario French up till grade 12, and I was a pretty good student. I was in, straight A's, that kind of stuff. And so I think my French was whatever it would be at grade 12 for like a straight A student.
Yeah.
I think that's like B1 or B2 if you're in the health world. And even when I was there, I didn't find I always needed a lot of French, because if you think about your daily chores and daily life, it's like go to work and then go to the bank if you need to, but now that's online. But it's like going for groceries. It's like you're always doing a lot of that basic conversation at the beginning. So it really didn't matter too much how much. It's like if you really want to improve, that's when you had to like really push yourself to go join clubs and go meet people every way you could. Try and really befriend people at the school, but you don't need a high level of French because that's what you're going to go learn. And luckily, I learned enough while I was there that my level of French is good enough that I could actually participate in the French program of the French half of the program. So I think the bilinguals out there should definitely know that because they're bilingual, that then opens the whole country up to them. Like they can participate in both halves. It's not. Some people actually think that the program's only for English speakers to go to Quebec, but no, there's English speakers can go to Quebec or New Brunswick because there are francophones in New Brunswick, and then francophones can go into the anglophone places, and if you're bilingual, it's all over. And that includes the north too. We had somebody go to, like I know people go to the Yukon, so if you want to see the Northern Lights.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yeah, I think it's such an incredible experience for people to get those paid positions and to get some experience and to build independence, getting out of your hometown and moving out and having your first like real job. I think it's such a monumental piece for you as you explore who you're going to become. And for some people like you, it really kind of sets you on a path for a career. Now, you said you also participated in the Explore program. Can you give us like the 20-second, 30-second version of what the Explore program is all about?
All right. So Explore basically, depending on your age, it's like a 3-week or 5-week immersion course. So we're looking at our age, probably 5 weeks. And you're just going to go basically to one of the universities or colleges in Canada for 5 weeks. You can be with others who are in the same boat as you. They want to learn French. You'll learn in some formal classes in the morning. So I had some like phonetics classes and grammar classes. And then in the afternoon, you'll have like workshops and some activities. So for me, I had an improv workshop, which led to our end of program improv show where everybody came to watch you. And then you have like just activities like cooking or yoga that, normally that you watch that in English, but in this case, you would just be doing it in French. And yeah, it's funded by the government. So I was really happy that I could participate because I did during my master's. So any kind of student, doesn't matter, PhD, high schooler, bachelor's, as long as you have the time and can squeeze in that 5 weeks, I would definitely say it's worth it. And you also become eligible if you're an Odyssey participant within the last 2 years. So I might be applying this month. I'm not sure. I have to make that commitment. Might go again.
Oh, amazing. I didn't know that. There you go. So it's nice. It's a nice little feedback loop where you can stay within the programming for a while, which is awesome.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. And so you kind of got a lot of skills out of this and it really shaped your career. Can you tell us just a wee bit more about what some of those skills were that you've kind of carried forward and how you've ended up where you are now?
So definitely the biggest one is just like, I think the French, because with everything that's been going on in the world right now, having wanted to go into ESL, it's been nice to have French as my backup for teaching FSL. So that's how, when I couldn't find a job in ESL in Canada, I was able to go and teach French in BC. And so that was a great backup. Having French has also allowed me to have my current job, which is promotion agent actually for the program. So I can talk about it and talk on the phone with people. I can do the interviews in French or in English, and that's really helpful. And then at that time, I think it gave me a lot of confidence because suddenly I was no longer the one being managed by teachers. I was now the one managing the students. And so having to like, not discipline, but, just like keep things in check. So my activity would be nice for everyone. So it's no fun if nobody's following the rules and then people are flipping boards and doing whatever they want. So just trying to find a good balance and actually like finding the confidence to say, hey, I'm the adult in the room. That was something I kept repeating myself a lot. I'm the adult in the room. I'm responsible for these children or these teenagers and what happens to them right now and they're learning. So give me the confidence to like manage groups of youth, and then just kind of like be on my own, and try and find out how to get to places, even though I don't really understand or totally 100% understand what's going on around me. I feel comfortable enough to continue walking into the snow or into the store or wherever I'm going, asking for directions. And then I was able to bring that on to my journeys elsewhere and then continue, like it was just a snowball effect after that. And I keep coming back. So there's always more to be learned from these programs, that's for sure.
That's so incredible. Ready? All right. So this sounds almost too good to be true. It must be extremely complicated to get into, right? No, I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's pretty straightforward. So if people are listening and saying, hey, I'm looking for a job and I speak English and I'd be interested in being part of this Odyssey program, or, hey, I would love to learn more French and I've got 5 weeks and this Explore program feels like it might be for me. Where or how does that, what are those application processes look like?
So basically everything is on the same website. When I applied for Odyssey, it was like snail mail. So they've gone electronic now in 2021. They're definitely electronic. You just go on their website. There's a bunch of apply now buttons. You click those, and just, it's a typical make your profile kind of ordeal. You just have to, for Odyssey, you just have to be able to prove like that you've completed that first year. So it might be your transcript or unofficial one or a diploma. So you just need to show that level of education. And then a CV, because it's a job. All jobs need a CV. They want to know like what you're capable of, what you've already done. And then before you know it, you'll be in an interview. So it's not too difficult to apply to, pretty typical, I'd like to say. And with Explore, you'll have to actually submit like your birth certificate or passport, just something to show that you're either a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident. I think I must have submitted my birth certificate and just scan that, take a picture, whatever, and upload it. And then they want to know that you're students. So again, you could show like some sort of transcript or unofficial one or enrollment letter. For me, I think I just like took a screenshot of my transcript and on the student portal and just put that in there. And it's a draw. So, I mean, I was pretty open to whatever was going on. Whatever I would get, I was ready to go anywhere. So the more open you are, I hear it increases your chances a lot easier because then you have more options.
There's a pro tip for you.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, you can keep reapplying as long as you're students. So if you start when you're 13, you can keep going right to the end of your PhD if you're somebody who's going to be taking that educational course. But yeah,
that's wonderful. Yeah, perfect. So easy peasy, great options for our listeners out there, people who are watching this, incredible programs. And I would highly, highly encourage you to consider this and to apply and to make the most of the resources that are available. I think we are extremely lucky here in Canada to have programs like this that allow us to develop our second languages and support other people in their understanding of Canada's official languages. So definitely check it out. And thank you so much for being with us and sharing your story and some of your experience. It's always so powerful to have alum of the program sharing what it was all about for them.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was great to talk about. I always love, reminiscing. Thank you.
All right. Well, you get back to training that adorable puppy of yours, and thanks for coming on the show.